So, as we go through the calendar and the years, given time to fight up here, I didn't go through all the years from 180 to 69, but I went through a few of them, a lot of them. The Parthians are back at war with the Romans. I was getting ready for a battle here. But as you're fighting and going through this stuff, when we get to 69 AD, we're going to check out the year of the four emperors. Whoever is not the emperor, he's going to have a chance to be the emperor. And we have to set up certain things. So it may be a little tricky, but I don't think it's going to be too bad. So I wrote it down on my notes. And first thing is you make sure there's no named leaders on the board. And then we add the four leaders. We add Galba, Otho, Vestulus, and Vespasian. And we're going to follow the rules in Scenario 7, the year of the four emperors, and we set them up as they're written here. Now, on the Rhine frontier, leader Vitellius, you're supposed to set up a lot of forces that are dealing up here with the Germans. In our game, since we're far in advance, I had put down that Vitellius sets up at Mognagticum, which is right here. So wherever Vitellius is, well, actually we're putting him on the board right now, and we set up this troops that I actually put the setup in. He has 2 veteran legions, 2 recruit legions, 1 V auxiliary, 1 2V equatus, 1 3V mixed cohort, a supply and an engineer. And he goes right there. Now these units can be taken from the recruit box or the troops that are listed by area name that we're allowed to start recruiting after 1 AD. As long as you don't go over the 33 legion limit, you can do that. Now you can see we have 33 legions on the board. The legates are still here. One's being besieged. We're still dealing with German forces here. And this guy is going to start going back because he's being proclaimed by his troops as the emperor. So even though we're going to be dealing with the year of the four emperors, you still have to roll for 2 events and you're still going to be fighting other wars. So we set up per the rules, and the next setup, we have Vespasian. Vespasian, we set up exactly the way this says. 3 of these legions that he gets has to besiege Jerusalem. Since it doesn't say where to put Vespasian, we start him at Alexandria, but 3 of his legions have to be on Jerusalem. And then we have to follow the special rules that go with this game, which is going to be 5, 5A, 5B, 5C, 5D, E, and F. So we follow these special rules of what you have to do. There's one more setup, Galba. Galba actually starts as purple. These 3 are starting red. Well, I only showed you 2. Vitellius, Vespasian are starting red. Then there is Otho. Otho actually starts on Rome. Exactly what he says here he gets. Anything else that's there, we just move off. And which is only going to be there as Praetorian Guard. So you can just move them around. It's up to you. Remember, when it's said and done, you just can't have more legions on the board than what you're allowed, 33. Then it's Galba's setup. Galba is set up exactly the way the rules call for. And then, same thing, it just says set up in Spain. And I write in my notes, you set them up here at Tarraco. Okay, and that's where Galba starts. And then you follow the rules. So what we're going to do is follow the rules. And what the rules say is, first of all, you can't leave any legions behind that already started with the leader. So none of these legions can be detached, okay, anywhere. Now you may want to not recruit too much, because when Galba as a purple player, you want to rush this guy as fast as you can over here and try to take Rome. And if you die, who cares? Because as soon as Galba is eliminated, red has to pick one of his leaders and turn it over to purple's side. He becomes the rebellious leader. And you're going to obviously pick the next smallest army, because then you're going to bring your red over and you're going to destroy him. Soon as purple's defeated, you have to flip another red leader to purple side. Now, as soon as you're down to your last red leader, which is usually going to be either Vespasian or Vestula, whichever one you want, then he stays on your side. But these special rules that we're going to cover from all of 5 here, they only last from 69 April, that entire year, and 70 AD, that entire year. So basically, not counting the winter turns, you have 12 turns. That's all you got. And the one who controls Rome, the leader who's on Rome, and the supreme leader, is the winner of the 4 emperors and becomes the new emperor. So that's the way we're going to do it. And purple starts with Galba as the supreme leader. Red does not start as a supreme leader as per the rules. But of course, you know, he can pick a supreme leader, obviously. So we will start here, the year of the 4 emperors, 69 AD. Okay, leaders do not otherwise rebel or defect in the scenario. So you can't, red and purple aren't really fighting each other anywhere. So in my notes, I also put that red and purple cannot fight each other unless a named leader that they have is in the hex fighting another enemy named leader. So in other words, this legate couldn't run over and start attacking this legate here. Okay, now legates can join purple's army if they want. That is totally allowed. So it's up to purple to do that stuff, or it's up to red. Legates can join your army. Once you put legates in the army, you can't dispatch. So if this legate was to take his whole army and put it here, Vestula is going to be real strong. Well, if Galba gets eliminated, red has to pick somebody to go to purple side. So you want to be careful of building up your armies too much. So we'll see how this goes. It's purple's turn. He's always first, right? And we're going to go ahead and start advancing him on the road, and we're going to spend a military stratagem. So he got to move his normal pace, and his slowest guy is a 5. So he goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to go ahead and force march him, because we want to move him quick, and we're going to expend another military. Another 2. So he gets 5 again. Remember, he's allowed to enter these red cities. You can't force a tribute or nothing, but he's heading to Rome. Red's turn. Red is going to spend a political stratagem, and he's going to put it on Otho. Otho becomes the supreme leader for red. And, you know, we have no comet. Again, I'm not going to do a bunch of stuff. I'm just seeing how this works. Supply's good. We do recover purple stratagems. And red's turn. We go ahead and we declare him supreme leader. Now, since your supreme leader is in Rome, you can declare him emperor. And they say put stratagem 1 marker on him, but stratagem 1 is already the special stratagem that you can pick. And I just use the imperator marker. So we put that. Otho is emperor. Now, because he's emperor, I'm going to get to pick more stratagems. So that political goes there. Let's go ahead and move. Let's move Vestilla. We're going to expend a military. And we're going to start marching him down that trade route. So we're going on a road. 1. and it's normal march. Now his slowest piece, he has an engineer and a supply, and he'll go 1, 2, 3. Now here, we're going to start going across country. And I'm going to expend another military. And we'll do it again. 4. Cross country, an artisan. So he has to lose something, but he gets to move again. So we have to take something out of here. Let's take off that. And he can now move 3 again. 1, 2, 3. Let's put him on that river. So we can actually build a auxiliary now. Let's go ahead and spend another military. Let's move Vespasian. Now he's only going to go 1 spot. I don't really want to lose men out of him. But he moves a 6. That's movement plus 2. And his slowest, I think he has... Yeah, he has a supply 2. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he goes to there. That's all his military. Combat, we can go ahead and try to lay siege to Jerusalem there. These guys can go ahead and fight, but again, I'm not going to worry about none of that. We're going to go to the end of the term. Everybody's in supply. We're going to collect our military stratagems. Now, because he's emperor in Rome, I get to pick an extra one. So he's going to get all his back. He gets like 6. It's back to Purple's turn. Purple's going to expend the military. And he's going to move. On the road. On the road with 5. Gives him a 2 movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're going to go ahead and expend another one. Six gives him 2 movement. So he makes it to Rome. He lays a siege to the red inside. And that's it. We're not going to worry about any of the purples. And let's conduct siege combat. He's staying inside. So, the siege continues. And it's Red's turn. We're going to go ahead and move Vestula on the road. We'll expend 1 military. 4. He gets to move 2, so he goes 5. I think I'm good there. Let's go ahead and move 1 for Vespasian. 4. And he gets a movement of 2. Yep, he gets 5. So he's there. Now remember, you might want to use like the Legate to attack Vespasian, but you can't. For this 12 turns, you can only attack if you have your named leader there. So these go back into stratagem box. And now purple's turn, and he gets to pick the stratagems. He gets all 3. He has a supreme leader worth 1. And he does own some provincial capital, so he gets 2. And I think that's it. So he doesn't get all 3. So he's only getting 2. And we'll storm the city again. And it's nothing. That's the end of that. Nothing happens. And it is red's turn. Red will take these 2 that he has. Remember, he just spent that one to fight. And we'll go ahead and march Vestula up there. We have 5. I think that's a good march, right? Yep. Vestula makes it to where Galba is. This is a normal battle outside. Now again, I'm not sitting here trying to think of all the little tricks or anything you can do. I'm just showing you basically how the 4 emperors is going to play out. Well, that's the end of that battle. Okay, so we finally finished that battle, and we go ahead and lose all the purple. Now, red has to pick any one leader. It's either going to be Otho, Vestula, or Vespasian, and he gives it over to the purple side. And you know what? It's going to be Otho. So Otho is now supreme leader. Now they get to be supreme leader automatically. They don't have to expend the political point like red does. Red just lost its supreme leader. He's going to have to spend another one. So Otho, we need to give him an imperator that's purple. Vestula and Otho are going to fight. And if purple loses, then red has to give purple another leader, which is going to be Vestula. In the meantime, Vespasian's going to be marching over here, and he can start recruiting in Rome for the year of the 4 emperors. And he could be bringing this army over to help. Red can be bringing men. We could go for a huge battle. And the last battle is going to determine who is the emperor of Rome. Okay, so the Legate had joined purple. This is his huge stack right there. He really don't have anything else. This guy's fighting over in Parthia. And then we had the red Legate had a little bit of forces here. We brought him down, and we recruited some with this other Legate. So red got reinforced a little bit. So this is the final battle going on to see who's emperor now. It's either going to be the red player or the purple player becomes emperor. And I make a rule that whoever controls Rome can start recruiting from there, since it's sort of a civil war, but you're only allowed to recruit the guard. You can't recruit anything else. If you want other things, you're going to have to recruit from your purple city or your red city. And remember, you can't change each other's because there's no tributes, no deflections. You're not allowed to fight anywhere unless 2 named leaders are in the battle. We're going to go for a formal siege. And it's a 2. And a 2 breaches it. It's exactly what we're looking for. You get to use the engineer line because we have engineers. And we have a battle. So, 10. So he does lose a quarter of his force and twice as many as red. He's actually defeated. Remember, it's whoever controls Rome with their supreme leader. And red, they had to pick a political stratagem to put on Vespasian. He is the supreme leader. And so we would go for another battle, and I'll need to painstaking you let you see another one like that. So, okay, we went another round. Nobody won. The rolling isn't the greatest. And then we went the second round, and 70 September came, and that's when the game ends. And Vespasian is on Rome with the supreme leader. He is the emperor. So he gets the Imperator card. He's there. Purple. The Civil War is done. Vistula is off. And there is no more Civil War. And purple and red are united again, and they can go back to do what they're doing. Now remember, you would be rolling for events for this entire year. But even though it's basically just a quick scenario that you're going to just set up these forces and they're going to go here, anything can happen in a battle. And since 1 AD, one Roman player got to be emperor. Well, this is your only chance for the other Roman player to now become the emperor. So he has a good shot at it. And as luck would have it, Vespasian won out, and red is still the emperor. Now, this ain't his only chance. You're going to get one more. But that's it. So from 70 AD now, we go all the way to 190, and we skip a bunch of turns. But you're going to try, red is going to be united. I mean, Rome is going to be united, and you're going to try to get that automatic victory. As soon as you do, the game ends. So right now, there's 103 cities that the Romans control. So remember, you need 115, and they own every city they can on the board, except for probably some Parthians going on here. There's 2 there, and then the rest are basically some colonies. We need to move it to 120. So the automatic number is 120. You got to have 120 cities, and that will make it good, tough for the Romans. They're going to have to conquer. They can't just go around and colonize easy stuff. They're going to have to take some cities from some client states. So again, I'm not going to run through every turn. I think we've already shown it can be done. I haven't been sitting here moving everything every turn. I'm only one person. I'm going to move the board up to 190. 190 is our last Civil War where, so after going 70 AD, finishing the year of the 4 emperors, making sure that works, I didn't continue anymore with the game. I don't need to see how everything works. I think we figured it out. We see how it works. It looks like it's worth to give a try. And what I laid out here was since 70 AD to 200 AD when the game ends, I don't play all those years, obviously. There's going to be one more chance for the red and the purple to get into a civil war and fight each other, obviously, if the automatic victory has not taken place yet. Now, it looks like that 115 cities may be appropriate, may not. We may need to choose 120, because 120 forces the Romans to maybe exert themselves like the Roman Empire did and overexert themselves. And I may keep it at 115, but you have to have all the cities of Gaul, all the cities of Britain, and these 2 colonies under your control. So that may be worth the push. But the Romans are allowed to do that and then just have the rest of these colonies without having to push probably much further out here. So we may have to do 120. Now, as we're moving to 190 when the next Civil War starts, what I decided to say is, let's say in 70 AD, I'm just going to go with an example. Let's say purple won the Civil War there, the year of the 4 emperors. So now, Domitian becomes the next emperor after, let's say, one of the 4 emperors won on purple side, and he goes purple. Now, these are the leaders, these are generals that are at it along the way. Now, Agricola, since he has a purple side, he will go to the purple side. But you see Alexander, when he gets added, he doesn't have a purple side. Therefore, he goes to red no matter what. Asperenus, same thing. He has a red. He's going to have to stay there. All of these on the red side are going to go to the red. Now, Verus, he has a purple side. Therefore, when he is added, he will go to the purple side. Now, as far as the emperors, now after Domitian, I don't go to Nerva, basically because I don't use every emperor. But Trajan's the next one I'd like to get to, and he is red. But since purple is owning the emperorship, we will use the purple imperator marker, and he goes on top. He's purple. He'll stay purple. So they all stay purple. Marcus Aurelius is allowed to turn purple, so he turns purple. Now, at the end, what we do is, whoever is emperor, Semptus Server will go to the other color. He has two sides. He's a leader 3, imperator. He's the one that wins this civil war between 190 and 200 AD. So, whoever owns the emperorship, Semptius Severus goes to the other side. And then the other two guys that fight him for the throne that are added, they go to the opposite side. So if purple owns the emperorship, Semptus Severus will go red. These two will go purple. If red owns the emperorship, Semptius comes on purple, and these two will go red. So that's how we play the last one. And again, it's going to give the Roman players one more chance, if they haven't achieved that automatic victory, to go into a civil war and collect victory points. So that is our Roman game. And I like it. I've been looking for a Roman game for a long time that we can do a lot of years like this. So I think this will be enjoyable. It covers a lot of aspects. Now, what I thought I could do is, kind of show off some of the sites in Rome now that we've gone over a lot of leaders, and look at some of the stuff in Rome, some of the ancient buildings. So this is a drainage cover at the Forum, and it's interesting, SPQR, which means it's Latin abbreviations for Senate of the People of Rome. So I thought that was pretty cool. Now, right near there, this is the Ark of Titus. It was gated off, but here's a close-up. You can see the Roman reliefs in there. And Constantine is not in our game because he didn't come along till 300 AD. But this commemorates his victory over the Eastern Roman Empire. And this right here is a shot of the Forum. And what's really cool is, I like history, and as I'm walking down the Forum, I imagine the Romans being here, the early empire, the classical age of Rome, and where they conducted business, politics, the government center of Rome, and processions would proceed down these streets of generals who conquered foreign enemies. They'd bring them here in chains and march them down the street. This is the temple of Saturn. The Roman general would stop, go into the temple, do a dedication or sacrifice, then continue on down the road. And the Mamertine prison right here, this they believed housed St. Paul and St. Peter, but there's really no proof of that. But it did hold Jeruthka and Vercingetorix. After they were paraded down the streets, they were put in the prison there until they were executed. So it's pretty cool. This shot right here is the Temple of Caesar. It was built by Augustus, Octavian, and it was adorned with jewels from Cleopatra and Antony's ships after the Battle of Actium, where Octavian defeated them. And this is the entrance here, but behind that, this is Caesar's tomb. So thought it was pretty cool. I mean, people wouldn't even know it's there. You can see the pictures here. It's not advertised. You just walk in and see what you want, unless you want to pay for a tour, which I don't. I'm interested in what I want to see, and I go check it out. This here is the Fora of Augusta and Nerva, and where they, did their business dwellings while they were in Rome. This is Augusta's mausoleum. It was all gated off. Couldn't go in there or around. I don't know if they allow you in it. This shot here is the Ark of Titus. Now, you can see right up here it says Vespasian on it. And that was, Titus was Vespasian's son. Vespasian was conquering Jerusalem before the year of the 4 emperors that we're showing, and he goes back and becomes emperor, defeats Vitellius. And his son conquered Jerusalem in 70 AD, and this ark he erected here. But note right here the relief of the Roman soldiers carrying off booty from the temple, and you can see the Jewish menorah there. So that's cool. This ark is from the Septimius Severus, where our game ends. That last Roman civil war we have from 190 to 200, he conquered his opponents, Albanius and Niger, and he also conquered the Parthians. And so this ark here dedicates his victory over the Parthians. In the relief here you can see Parthian soldiers. So yeah, that stuff's pretty cool. Romans were one of the earliest that built these markers and triumphs to themselves. I mean, everybody did it. This, for example, in Paris here, that's the Arc de Triomphe, which Napoleon had built. So to show, Rome was burnt probably 4 or 5 times, and this shows up on the arches of this building. It shows burns, proof of the fires that happened. But this is cool here. Look at this. Now this has just been unearthed probably 10, 15 years ago. So there's nobody around this. But you just go down the street. But I was looking for this. You go down the street. This is the Theater of Pompeii. And this is where the Senate used to meet, depending on how big the gathering was, because the Curia over in Rome couldn't house so many senators, and this could. But you look down here, and again, we weren't allowed to go down there, but you look down here in the halls, there was rooms back here in hallways where this is where Caesar was murdered. Now, they don't know what room he was murdered in, but he was murdered in 44 BC on the Ides of March. So I thought that was cool. They don't know exactly where, but he was murdered somewhere back there. And the irony, after he defeated Pompey in battle, and Pompey was killed by Ptolemy the Seventh, Caesar was murdered in Pompey's theater right under a statue of Pompey. So the irony is amazing here, but I thought that was cool. Anyways, that just shows the Roman history here. I like it. These are shots of the Colosseum, obviously. So pretty cool stuff. And that is our history comes from the Roman world, which came from the Greek world, which came from the Babylonian world and Persian world. That's it.